Welcome to the Martin Bailey Photography Podcast. It's September 17, 2018, and this is episode 631. This week we're going to take a look at Lunar Display, an amazing little device that turns your iPad into a wireless second display for your Mac. I backed the Kickstarter for this around a year ago and have been very excited to finally use it after it was delivered last week. Before we jump into the review, I'd like to apologize for my radio silence over the last few weeks. I decided to add a couple more features to our Photographer's Friend app for version 3, and one of them took a lot more time than I had expected. And to complete this kind of work, I really just have to go down Periscope and devote every waking minute to the project. The app is now with Apple for review though, and I'm hoping to release it in the coming days, so stay tuned. If you'd like to be notified when Photographer's Friend 3 becomes available, you can sign up for our newsletters at mbp.ac/news. Anyway, back to Lunar Display. Lunar Display is from the same people that brought us Astropad, and I reviewed that in episode 483 some 3 years ago. Astropad has been great, but a lot has changed, and frankly I feel that in many ways Lunar Display pretty much makes Astropad unnecessary, as you can do everything that it does over a lunar connection. Lunar Display comes in a tiny little box, 65mm square, and the device itself is 14mm wide at the base and protrudes just 18mm from your computer. It comes in both a mini display port and a USB-C version. I bought the USB-C version because I'm using newer Mac computers. Both my MacBook Pro and iMac Pro have a USB-C ports, so it was a natural choice for me. To get started with Lunar Display, you just need to go to the web page written on the insert and download and install the Mac software and an app for the iPad from the Apple App Store. Once you have these installed, you can start the Lunar app on your Mac, and you will initially see the following message asking you to open the Lunar Display app on your iPad. If you open the app on the iPad first, it just connects rather than displaying a message. Once connected, you have a few choices that are presented to you in the Lunar Display app on your Mac, including whether you'd like the screen to be on the left or right side of your computer, and whether or not you'd like to enable Retina resolution. As you can see from the screenshot, I've been using Lunar in Retina resolution and it works flawlessly, although you do have to install a system extension the first time you enable Retina resolution. I have to admit, when I first started Lunar up, it was slightly glitchy, and I immediately started to feel underwhelmed. But then an update pop-up appeared, and since running that update, I haven't had a single issue, so I was frustrated for perhaps 10 seconds, and then everything was fine. There is a custom button on the settings screen as well that literally just opens up the Mac's display's settings, so you can fine-tune the position of the second display and change the resolution if you'd like. I have my iPad Pro running at its highest resolution through Lunar Display, and as I mentioned, it works flawlessly. There is really no time lag to speak of, so it's a working solution that opens a lot of doors for people that own both a Mac computer and an iPad. I take my iPad Pro with me when I travel, and also my 13-inch MacBook Pro, and because the screens are almost the exact same size, this setup feels really comfortable to work on. As you can see in the image that I've posted next on the blog at mbp.ac/631, I can run Capture One Pro in multi-monitor mode, and because the iPad is touchscreen, I can just tap on a thumbnail of an image to jump directly to that image. It doesn't stop with single taps emulating a mouse click. There is additional functionality built into the Luna Display software to enable multi-finger touch gestures. So, for example, if you want to zoom in or out, you can simply pinch the screen and zoom just like you would with images viewed directly on the iPad. This to me is really impressive, and although I don't know how wide this support goes, if it works with Capture One Pro, I would imagine it will work with most other applications as well. One last editing related aspect is that you can also use the Apple Pencil to directly edit images, which is incredible. I often do some pretty fine mask drawing while traveling, but this can be clunky to do with the mousepad, but it's a breeze with the Apple Pencil. You can't really see what I've done to this image in the next screenshot, but I couldn't help refining the mask around the Himba Girl shot from this year's Namibia tour. Also, although you can change this in the preferences for Luna Display if you want to by default, when you plug Luna into a USB port, the Mac software automatically opens and waits for your iPad software. The team seems to have thought of everything, as usual, so the entire solution is very smooth. Of course, I'm talking about Luna from a photography perspective today, but anyone that can benefit from having a second display, or maybe even a third, would find it useful. Here's an example of how you might use Luna in a music production environment. Putting the interface for a synthesizer on the iPad actually gives great tactile access to the presets, knobs, and sliders. And although this particular company has a great iPad app that does most of this, it's rare to have that. And I can do much more by simply touching the screen on the original interface. So this is also a setup that I will be utilizing moving forward. Before we finish, I would like to mention that this post is not sponsored in any way. Although I know the team that created Luna Display, I did not contact them for a device, and they have not paid me to do this review. I signed up for the Kickstarter and waited my turn for my unit, like everyone else. I can say for sure though that it was absolutely worth the wait. I believe the mini DisplayPort versions of Luna Display are still on back order, but looking at their website it looks as though they have stock of the USB-C version, so if you want one, it might be a good time to head over to lunadisplay.com and place your order. Thanks very much for listening today. If you enjoy this podcast, please share a link with your friends. Subscribe in iTunes or your favorite podcast program to ensure uninterrupted delivery. If you have a moment to rate the podcast or leave us a review in iTunes, that helps to keep us relevant in the huge number of podcasts out there now. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, etc., and links to everything that I'm up to are at martinbaileyphotography.com. So do drop by and take a look. I'll be back next week with another episode. But in the meantime, you take care and have a great week, whatever you're doing. Bye bye.